here in Greystone Sailing Club with Tom Dolan, the 2024 winner of the Solitaire du Figaro. So Tom is originally from Meath, but has been offshore sailing for a very long time now, racing maybe for about 10 years. Can you tell us a little bit about when you first started sailing?
When I first started sailing ever,
Yeah.
it was on Loch Rammer in County Cavan.
Yeah, so we had our inclusion games there.
Did you?
Just this summer.
Yeah, very good. It's very shallow. You have to be careful sometimes when you run into things in the summer. But I remember when my father took me out there when I was probably about 8 or 9, I think. It was a long time ago. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember a few things. I remember the sensation of floating.
And was that something that hooked you then?
Yeah.
Or was it just a moment in time and then you went moved on?
No, so we went out a few times on the lake. I can't remember how many times, and then the boat ended up getting broken, and then the all kind of stopped. So I kind of ended up for my teenage years, I stopped sailing.
Yeah.
Except for 1 2 week sailing course actually in Dolan area in the Irish National Sailing School. It's funny, I remember a little blonde kid who was the centre's owner running around the place. It was like the star of the sailing school, and ended up competing against them in the Solitaire du Figaro.
Was that
Kenny Rumble? Yeah. He's a bit less blonde. It's a good sailor then, still a good sailor.
Yeah. And then you went on to Glenann's?
I did. I went on to Dolan's, when I was about 18 or 19.
Yeah.
I dropped out of college. I went to do agricultural science in UCD, which didn't go very well. And then I went to Colossi in Coolock and found a course on outdoor adventure management. And the only thing I wanted to do when I saw that was I saw the sailing part of it and said, geez, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And as part of the work experience, they sent me down to Glenann's in Baltimore. I think that was actually the first time I ever met and really got to know any non-Irish people, coming from me to Kells. It wasn't exactly the most cosmopolitan place in the world. And I went down, and I remember the first day I walked in there, they were showing me around. I went into the workshop and there was this dude with dreadlocks, like in a pair of flip-flops. And then you go around there with no guard on it, with a rolly fag hanging out of his right and disking into this bit of metal. I said, wow, this place was cool in there. And I remember I stayed, so then I worked for them. And so that's the first time I met all these kind of French people, and they had all these magazines lying around the place with those cool boats in them. Anyway, I worked for them for 5 or 6 years, I think, in Baltimore. And then what was Glennon's Irish Sailing Club went bust.
Okay.
And it got reintegrated by Le Glennon, which was the French association who had created it at the beginning.
It got recreated in Baltimore?
Yeah, well, the two Irish bases went out of business more or less. And then it was either close everything or be reintegrated by the French company. Well, it's not even a company, it's a non-profit organisation. So they came back in and took over again. That's about the same time I went to France.
And is that when you first kind of got introduced to solo sailing? Offshore sailing? Or was it when you went to France and worked for them in France?
No, I actually started solo sailing in Baltimore Bay on the 570s that they had.
Yeah.
Because all these French people were telling me about this solo stuff, and I remember they were showing me videos on YouTube and I said, I must try that someday. So I used to take a little 570 out and sail on my own around the bay. And then a fella from County Meath, believe it or not, had a mini transat line up in a shed up in Upside Loud. And I remember I went with that and drove the whole way to Baltimore and in the workshop and kind of used to sail around on that for a while. So that was the first kind of taste of solo sailing, although I never got through any races on it because it was no autopilot. I didn't have much holidays and I had absolutely no money, so
But that's where you kind of got the feel for solo sailing.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about racing it then, or was it just a hobby then?
I wanted to used to be racing in the south coast of the UK back then, and I wanted to get over there, but big problem was money, and the second one was time, because I was working full time in sailing in Cork, so it's kind of hard to try and get it in shape that he wasn't fit to be raced, to be honest.
So then when did racing first come into the picture?
When I got to France, because the guy I met in Glennon used to always be on with this Figaro thing. He's like, when I go back on it, Figaro, and I thought it was like Figaro was like some sort of Italian singer or something. That must be a singer, what's it all about? So he started showing me the videos, and he was like, I work on one of those. I remember seeing a video of this lad on his own, sitting under spinnaker, from a helicopter.
Yeah.
I think, geez, that was so cool. And he came in, he said, well, I'm going when you come to Brittany, because I'd already planned to move there. I said, come with me and we can work on it. The guy has lent me this boat, we can go and do a bit of sailing if you want. And then I did. I went down to, when I moved to France, I used to go and train the weekend with him in Saint-Gilles-Quad-B, doing all sorts of stupid things, and breaking everything, what we were doing. And then bitten by the bug then.
So then, was it that kind of process of just going out on the water and experiencing it that then led to wanting to win it?
Oh no, it was a long way. It was a lot, many years later. So at the first I said, right, I just wanted to work in sailing. I just wanted to work in offshore sailing. I wanted to be a preparator on one of those boats, which I was when I was working with them.
Yeah.
And you get to deliver them around, you get to fix them. I was good at fixing stuff. And then people started telling me about the mini transat scene. I started saying, it's probably an accessible way. It was back then, it just cost a lot cheaper. An accessible way of getting into racing and try your own solo sailing. Even back then, I never thought I would have been able to do the Figaro, that the level was just too high.
Yeah.
But I said I'd try the mini a bit. And I could do it while working. And then I got lucky and I met a guy who did double-handed race with an elderly fella. And after the race, he said, look, I'm not fit for this anymore, Tom. If you want, I'll lend you the boat. And if you can, you sell it when you're done with it, sell it for me, fix it up a bit, sell it for me.
Yeah, and that was the mini.
So I did 1 year in 2015. 2015 was the first proper racing season, I think.
So you've only been doing it since 2015?
Yeah, properly, yeah. Full time. Well, that was half time because I was still working. And that's where I got into the mini. So I did a season in 2015 with an old boat that wasn't very competitive. And that was really just to see if I liked it. If I liked being out in the ocean on my own.
And did you?
I did actually. It wasn't bad. See, probably, to be honest, the reason I got into single-handed sailing was because any time I tried to do crude racing, it was always kind of hard to find your place, Yeah. Especially when you're young. You're from the country, you don't have all the codes, or you're not, look the parts. It's kind of people tell you, don't listen to you more or less. You don't make any decisions. You don't trim any sails. You don't more just sitting on a rail listening to people giving out to you. And you don't actually learn a whole lot.
Yeah.
You come off the end of the day and say, I would have done it like that, but you don't say it. I'm just saying backside your head. So
you just decided to find a bit by myself.
Exactly. Yeah. Silly, that plus the fact that I was kind of amazed by the way people manoeuvred on their own.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of obsessed with manoeuvres at this time.
And being able to fix the boats probably came in handy when you're sailing, that you're able to do it on your own out there.
Yeah, and you have to know kind of like that, yeah, and preparation. Because you end up doing that yourself. I never even went, oh God. I even made my website. I remember spending weeks and weeks every evening, like the boat in the garden, getting it ready for the mini transat 2015. I don't know why I said I need a website. And I spent hours and hours making this horrible website. Then at the end of that, I kind of had a big choice. I could either, because my father had passed away a few years before that, so I had a bit of inheritance, enough to almost buy a mini. So I had a kind of choice. Either I was still working for the Dolan, so I continue with the Dolan, or so I just stop and just give it all go at the mini thing to see if I can. I knew I wanted to do it, and I wanted to see if I could get any good at it.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I said, why not?
And then when did you decide to transfer, or why did you decide to transfer to then doing the Figaro?
Probably because I did very well in the mini. So the 2 years. The 2 years I did after that, I remember I won the very first race I ever did with the boat. I won the second one, and it was a whole season of podiums left, right, and centre. I think that was the first time I kind of realised I thought that I could be good enough at it. When you're good enough at it over there, you start winning racing and stuff. Everyone can start saying to you, you should go on and do the Figaro, you should go on and do the Figaro. And it was also a good time to do it because it was the last year when I finished the mini and sold the boat. So 2017. It was the last year of the last generation of Figaro boat, Figaro 2. So the Figaro actually cost half the price of what I sold the mini for.
Oh wow! But now you're in the Figaro 3s. Can you talk us a bit through the kind of dedication and process and the years of work it took to go? So you've done 7 Figaros. It took from kind of starting it, working in it, to then winning it.
I think I'm a bit of an anomaly. Whereas all of my competitors in the Figaro nearly all have come through that high performance background. So when they arrive into the class, they're used to competing in condensed, one design, high level fleets. So I very quickly realised that that's the way I had to change. I had to set my mindset that to stop. It's not something to do with being offshore or being good at night or navigating or whatever. The important thing is to have a high performance outlook about it and develop the whole process around it. Which it's very easy to learn very quickly because the first, when you have bad races in the Figaro, you have bad races. 33 or 33rd or 34th place. It does hurt quite a bit.
So then you've said I think I've seen it a lot recently, you've said that your headspace is a lot to do with how well you're doing in the race.
Yeah, so it is, as I said, so it's like anything. So you need to control what you can control. So physical preparation, nutrition, boat work, both being conditioned, technical abilities, so being able to maneuver great to trim sails. Often it gets a bit faster. You can just call it the boat, we could say, because it's another part of it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, mental preparation, which is vitally important. Certainly, you're kind of admitted to see on your own. And competing against people, so there's no coach. You have a bit of everything. You can't really go on the sideline and go, "You're not problem, not feeling great." And there's no really to motivate you except yourself. So you have to have a very, very stable kind of headspace. I realised that very quickly at probably my second season, but then it took me a while to actually find someone that could work. There's a lot of people out there actually. I suppose what I really needed was a sports psychologist. It's weird. At the start, I thought I needed to do French because I needed someone that understood about offshore racing.
Okay.
And it turned out it was completely the opposite. So I actually ended up finding that last 3 years been working with Jerry Gussie, a guy from Dublin. He doesn't like about sailing, doesn't really want to try and like about sailing, but really was able to work on the two-pronged things. First of all, the psychology part of it, which probably goes back to, for me, struggling with not feeling that I should be there, feeling like a bit of an imposter, especially from stuff that happened when I was a kid. So he's able to manage with all that on one side, and then on the other side, concentrate on the sports side of things. So, as I said, concentrating on what you can control, what's important now. And then another little thing that we did a lot this year, which is really trying to win little percentages left, right, and centre. Even the little details that even someone like him who just ran with sailing.
So taking kind of small wins.
Exactly.
Picking off little things one at a time.
And the
get overall.
The big thing this year, it sounds so stupid because I had a thing, I really like the weather. It's kind of a strength and a weakness. I really like the weather, the strategical, analysing grid files and routings and that. And I like it so much. I need it to kind of be impregnated in my head before I go off on a race. And if it's not...
The specific conditions?
I know exactly, just knowing exactly what's going on, when and where,
Okay.
Which is really good if you're able to do it.
Yeah.
But I was also finding if I couldn't do it, I did get it before a race, I might get quickly very lost.
Yeah.
And because the Figaro was over a number of legs, you're kind of accumulating all this fatigue. So the harder it becomes to integrate the weather, because you're looking at a computer screen and you're tired and going, "Oh God, what's going to happen here?" It's not feeling. So Jerry, I explained that to Jerry, and he was like, "I need to work on sleep on land."
When you come in between legs.
So which means the whole kind of thing before was finding out the Airbnb was close to the port, but not too close to the town centre, so there'd be no noise, to make sure that they had blinds on the windows so that when you're sleeping in the afternoon you could completely close off the thing. I even brought my bedclothes from home that would smell, like home, that with me. So I had my own pillow, I had all this stuff, like bags of it walking around. So the whole thing, so everything was just set up to when I went to sleep for even an hour or two in the afternoon during the stopover, everything was
That's controlling kind of pretty much all the control factors to maximise performance. So that, in a sense, it's still very high performance attitude to it.
And another offset of that I didn't really realise was that quite often you'd share logistics with other teams, so it could be a couple of days in an Airbnb or whatever. Another thing he said as well, we stay single-handed, right? Stay single-handed for the whole thing. So during the stopovers, I just sit in my hotel and the Airbnb to let's go. A bunch of Netflix.
Sounds very sad.
No, it was actually, and it was great because I stayed on my own.
Yeah.
I just stayed on my own for 3 weeks. And I ate the same things, the nutritional, the vegetables. Because a lot of time people might go out for a restaurant because they're tired and it'd be easier or just go down. So I had bags full of food and pillows and all that. Do
you have much communication with your own team on each stuff like that?
Well, just Jerry for the mental stuff. Gilda was working with me for the technical preparation.
Are you allowed to have communication with your kind of meteorologist?
Yeah, of course, sorry. Yeah, definitely. That's really a program that we looked at. And it's mad because all of that meant that on the second leg, I remember even thinking to myself before going, I feel so fresh. I felt like I'd barely done a leg, and we've been off for 4 days.
Yeah.
600 miles to get another fast net race, and this was 2 days later, and I was like, geez, I feel great actually. And all of that added to a little bit of lucidity that made me read the weather correctly.
Mm-hmm.
That got me out into just a little bit, 1 mile of a split that turned into 3 miles, and that was a little bit of a chance. You all need a bit of a chance in these things, you know, especially in offshore racing, which meant that the last stitch just went like that. And I had never an hour of the lead at the end of it, which was enough to win the one leg. It was mad how such things unfold.
And did that feel similar to, you came second in the second leg last year in Kinsale, but then became an overall first?
Yeah.
Did it feel similar to that experience?
No, it felt better. First of all, I suppose because you're the first across the line.
Yeah.
The one in Kinsale, well, it was cool because it was at home.
Yeah.
Probably because I didn't cross the line first. I still felt I didn't cross the line first, even though your man was disqualified for cheating. And even the way I did it, I kind of took a bit of a risk. I read the weather right and I followed my feeling, but I did kind of split completely from the fleet.
And then that probably then fueled you for the third leg with the confidence.
Of this year, you mean?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. The third race is a bit weird, to be honest. Because it's a time race, it's an aggregate time race.
Yeah.
I had more to lose than I had to win, so I had to. And it was strong wind, so it didn't really feel with confidence. I was happy to have a lead, but I was only really concentrated on one boat.
Yeah.
Which was Gaston. It was an hour and a half behind me. And we sat down with Jill down, we kind of thought about it, and we said the last leg was like 120 miles. It was going to be, 120 through wind angle, which is under a big spinning car for 5 hours, And he said, for him to put an hour on you, he's going to have to be 12 miles ahead of you.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. He'd never been 12 miles ahead. Like in 5 years of Figaro, he's never been 12 miles ahead of me. So he said, the only way you can do that is if you break something.
Okay.
So you don't have to be in front of him. Be behind him. It's probably easier to be behind him.
Yeah.
Just don't break him. So it was a very weird way of
quite a tactical way to go about.
Yeah, it wasn't very much fun actually, to be honest.
And did you have to talk to Jerry much in the in-between stage to keep kind of the mental game level?
Especially after the second night, because it's such a head start. An hour is a lot in the Figaro. Everyone was saying to me, imagine no other Irish person has won, no foreigner has ever won, blah, 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 blah. So Jerry was just kind of, just turn off at 4.
Yeah.
Just don't listen to anyone. Concentrate on everything. What can you control? And I said, explain that thing to him.
Okay.
I was like, well, you just do that. You just have to, all you have to do is finish it within an hour 10, It's a bit of a cynical way of doing it. It's like, no one is going to remember,
how you won.
That's Karen. What do you like here? What?
Around this time last year, you did your second round Dolan attempt,
yes,
but you had to retire early in Dingle.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you navigated that?
The round Ireland thing was an idea, because I had a bit of a break in the season early on in last year. I kind of thought, why? Say offshore sailing is a bit it's complex, especially the Solitaire du Figaro. Most Irish people don't even know how to say it. It's time, aggregate time, especially with the tracker. Both zigzag around the place, so the sun's in first and then the 24th, and then even people who follow sailing don't know what's going on. It's a bit complicated. It's in French, so why not do something that everyday people can understand? It's not complicated. Ireland is there. Just sail around it.
I'm sailing around all of you guys.
Easy. That's it. Just go around, because everyone understands the record as well. And I was kind of trying to do a good job for the sponsors, and it kind of allowed me to bring the boat back home.
Yeah, you kept it out there, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
You kept it out there.
Yeah, in Greystones. A very warm welcome from the gang in Greystones Marina.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was this wild idea to go sailing around Ireland. And then we went and had a word with tourism here in London, tourism Ireland. So they said, geez, good idea, what about making a movie? These guys are making movies, so the whole kind of thing. Started off with my idea, kind of got blew up a little bit.
Yeah.
And the big error that I made was that I tried to squeeze it into a break in the season that I had, which was only 3 or 4 weeks long. And then I had to get to go back to France and concentrate on racing. Because, at the end of the day, they wanted to do the Figaro. Was the main objective. And during these 3 weeks, just wasn't any winner.
Yeah.
So we took the only weather window that there was, really, to be honest, which involved getting in front of a front on the west coast of Ireland. And being able to stay in front of otherwise, the thing was dead. Except there was a little less wind the whole way around, which means the front got caught in the fast net, which means things was done and dusted. But we still had to make the film.
Yeah.
So then kind of said the film has to be done by the end of the year because the deadlines or things and all this stuff like that. They understand because I was too busy thinking about the figure.
Yeah.
And there I end up having to come back in, I think it was November even, was it?
October.
October to swim around Ireland. Plus the fact that whatever we're doing in May when the days are long and the weather is getting better, we do it in October, November when it's only going one way. And the other thing I have to think about is getting the boat back to France because you need to go in the water in Ireland. There's always a risk even when it's tied up. I don't think that could get damaged, and you have to be away for it next year. Plus the fact that I was worn out after the Figaro, and the Solitaire du Figaro had been hard that year because I'd done really well and just got caught in one transition that cost me 12 hours. It's quite cruel. Second try, and of course, just before we were leaving, of course, it was Kieran or whatever was arriving. I think there'd been another one before it that had flooded the south of Cork. People getting flooded out of their homes and everything. It was a pity because the weather window was almost perfect.
Yeah, you were 9 hours ahead of the road.
What were we? I can't remember. But the weather window was always perfect. But whatever about wind, the problem is the thing in offshore sailing is, or even sailing is, it's not the wind strength; it's the danger. You know, you can tear sails, break masts, and it's definitely if you're coming onto a coast. And there's actually a mathematical calculation for calculating between the period of a wave and the height of the wave. I can't remember exactly what it is. The wave will break or not. A breaking wave, if you take it on a 30-foot boat, one or the other, it's going to.
Thanks very much, lads. Thanks for coming out, and see you in a little over 3 days.
I hope. Do you think you'd ever want to try and do it again?
I don't know. At the start, what wanted to be just a bit of a calm thing to showcase the boat ended up turning into something that was a bit personal, to be honest, especially the way the documentary went, and then I started getting bashed by some newspapers and articles and stuff, and I thought, I think I'll just go back to France. To be completely honest, go back to racing. It's a bit too much. I don't know. It does feel a bit like unfinished business, but maybe I need a bigger boat.
Yeah, and so then it was really something for you. You wanted to bring sailing back home.
Yeah,
you wanted to show people what
exactly.
You can do.
Make something a bit simple, a bit easier, a bit actually more accessible,
I think winning the Figaro definitely brought it home more than a little bit. I don't know if you saw when you did win that day, we were at an event in Dunleary and I interviewed a few people kind of about the event that we were doing, but then I also asked them, do you know Tom Dolan? And one of the guys decided to take it upon himself to translate what meaning the Figaro meant. And he was like, it's like winning a gold medal at the Olympics for anyone who is unfamiliar with what the Figaro is. A great way to translate it. And I think a lot of people kind of had a pep in their step that day, in the sense that Irish people are doing cool things in boats across.
No, I didn't. There was so much going on after that. I didn't really follow much.
Because it was also after we'd had a really successful Olympics. In terms of that then, would you have any advice to young people wanting to kind of chase their dreams in whether it be offshore sailing, mini transat, Olympics, any sport? Would you have any kind of things maybe you wish you heard when you were that age?
I wish I had done more racing, I suppose. I think it's easier to teach someone who knows how to race how to go offshore, and it does someone who knows how to go offshore how to race, or someone who's been into cruising or has gone, sailed 5 times around the world how to race. So I'd say if they want to do the Figaro and do well in the Figaro, I'd say definitely try and stick at better off in a small boat that you're making all the decisions and the people listen to you, than a big boat where you're not making any decisions and you're just getting ordered around. So I'd say it's that. I'd say it doesn't actually especially have to be a very fancy boat. And once they're all the same, the ruffians, I don't know if they said they're remember the things are all the same, or even a little small dinghy, once there's a lot of them, once there's a good level and everyone wants a bit of a good level, everyone kind of brings themselves up. I'd say you're going to have to be ready to take risks and make lots of sacrifices. If you want to do the mini and the Figaro like I did, you're going to have to study French in school, listen to your French teacher, and end up moving to France. And something I think it's going to, if you ever want to do it properly and well, it's where it is. But don't worry, they're very nice and they're very warming and welcoming.
Moving to France that's because where all the training happens.
Training, that's where the boats are.
Where the boats are, where the knowledge is surrounding the race.
And even if you don't have money at the start and you don't have your own boat, there's so much work over there at the moment. So you can get some sort of work and some sort of team, even if it's just carrying sails around or or making lashings, but you know, that'll get you into the world, and then you might meet someone who knows someone, and might have a boat, might lend you the boat, might let you do a delivery or two, and then you get miles, and then it all kind of becomes. And there is systems over there which are becoming more open to international people that where they have selection processes for people who, and then you can end up having a figure that's paid for.
When did the Figaro become a dream of yours?
To do it,
Yeah.
probably the first season of Mini when I started winning races.
And so, if you don't mind me asking, how old were you when that was?
Ooh, good question. 30, yeah, 30, 30, yeah.
So you had a
29,
new
29,
kind of
29.
passion kind of spring upon you when you were 30.
It was the first time I realised I could be good at it. Because even I think people underestimate the Mini Transat class a little bit because it's called Mini and the boats are small. People think, oh, that must be easy. But to go and win or have a podium in the Mini class is not an easy feat. Not many Irish or English people have done it, actually, to be honest. So yeah, once I'd done that, I started thinking, Jesus, and then that almost got me into, going into the little details. Because at the time, I was in the series class, all the boats were the same. Kind of got you into the little minute, looking for the little detail that makes you go that little bit faster, the little bit right way, and I really enjoyed that. Kind of like making boats go fast. Kind of fun.
So an attention to detail would be necessary as well.
Which you get out of racing one design boats. Which is why I'd say stick to dinghies that are one design, It gives you that little kind of, what if I try this, what if I do that? Or, using that back and a quarter of a turn, kind of that mindset. Rather than thinking, well, the other boat's bigger, so they're ahead. So,
what's next?
Good question. A couple of things in my head. I think I'd like to go back and defend my title. I would like to start racing on bigger boats. I have had some. When you win the Figaro, you don't get sponsors beating down the door, but you do get some interesting phone calls. So I had a good few offers for next year that are quite interesting. And then I suppose long term, why not? I mean, no Irish person's ever sailed single-handed around the world, non-stop. Why not? One day globe is a bit of a dream, to be honest. So why not?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Still a dream at this stage. More than that. Yeah, there.
But it'd be something that you'd like to do.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely like to do. Definitely feel more than able to do it. Just to find the money.
Yeah, so the one day. We'll take you.
Take it. Official.
And best of luck if you do return to the Figaro next year.
Thanks very much. I didn't sell the boat anyway, so.
Don't.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think that's all the questions I've got for you today. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks very much, Shona.
Thank you very much. That's it.